Senator Conroy.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is to the Minister for Defence. Mr. President, before the election, the minister told ABC Newcastle on the 9th of August 2013 that, quote, "I get really fired up when I find us giving away our manufacturing base in the defence space to foreign manufacturers." Yet, Mr. President, today what did we hear? That building ships in Australia is beyond the Australian industry's capacity. We're just not up to it, he's implying. Mr. President, why has the minister broken his promise to Australia's defence manufacturing industry and excluded Australian companies from tendering for the 2 new naval supply ships, which will send thousands of Australian jobs to either Spain or South Korea?
Order. Order. The Minister for Defence, Senator Johnson. Senator Johnson.
Well, the simple answer to the senator, if he had any real understanding of this portfolio, is that we urgently require 2 replenishment ships, because for 6 years they did nothing. They did nothing. When we came to power, and the reason for the air warfare destroyer problem, Mr. President, is actually sitting at the opposition leader's table. We promised that we would build 3 air warfare destroyers, 2 rebase-linings, a productivity level that is off the planet. We set it at 80 man-hours per tonne. What do you think ASC are delivering on? 150 man-hours per tonne. This is not a blank cheque from the taxpayer. This is not a blank cheque from the taxpayer. So, if the senator understood that a 20,000-tonne or 26,000-tonne vessel cannot be built in the Hunter or down at Williamstown, because the only place we can build a 6,000-tonne air warfare destroyer is in Adelaide, he would realise that we have 2 ships yet to be constructed. There is nowhere to build them. There is nowhere to build them. And there is no productivity at the moment justifying such an outlay. You want us to do something you refuse to do. What happened to Aurora Australis, the replacement for that? What happened to that? It went offshore because you refused to back an Australian build. You know it. So it's all very well, Mr. President, for the Leader of the Opposition to stand up there in Williamstown and bleat and complain about the Valley of Death. Hypocrisy. Thy home is over there.
Senator Conroy. Senator Conroy, interjections are disorderly. If you wish to debate the issue, you can debate it at the end of question time. Senator Conroy.
Mr. President, before the election, on 8th of May 2013, the minister stood outside the shipbuilder ASC in Adelaide, and in relation to Australia's future submarines, this is what he had to say. "We will deliver these submarines from right here at ASC in South Australia. The coalition today is committed to building 12 new submarines here in Adelaide." Minister, will you now repeat that commitment that you gave on the 8th of May 2013?
Order. 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 The Minister.
So, Mr. President, what did I find on C-1000, the submarine project, upon being appointed Defence Minister? I found that virtually nothing had been done on that project, but worse, the future funding in the DCP out to 2030 had been raided and ripped off by Labor, so that the funding for that particular program had been ripped off.
Carr. That is disorderly. You need to withdraw.
I withdraw.
Order. 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 Senator Johnson.
And about Labor's future well-touted big splash programs.
Order. Wait a minute, Senator Conroy. I'll give you the call. When this, Senator Conroy.
Mr President, on relevance, the question was very simple. Will you repeat your promise to build 12 submarines in Adelaide today, right now?
I do draw the minister's attention to the question. The minister does have 29 seconds remaining. The minister.
And what else did I find, Mr President? I found the air warfare destroyer program $300 million down the gurgler. $300 million. What I promise about submarines is there will be no capability gap in spite of the abject mismanagement of the Labor Party.
Order. 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 Senator Conroy.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President.
Order. On both sides. Order. Order. On both sides. Order. Senator Birmingham. Senator Birmingham. Senator Birmingham. I'm waiting to call Senator Conroy. Senator Conroy.
Mr President, why is the Abbott government abandoning these shipbuilding jobs just as they abandoned workers at Toyota, Ford, Holden and Qantas? Mr President, doesn't the minister's failure to stand up for these jobs confirm yet again that this is just another step on this government's plan to kill Australia's manufacturing industry and tell more lies to the Australian public?
Order. Senator John. Order. On my right. I'm waiting to call the minister. Order. When there is silence, on my left. Senator Johnson.
Well, thank you, Mr President. We certainly have not abandoned Australian shipbuilders. We have actually given them a credible path forward if they can manufacture and recover the air warfare destroyer program. There is a promise, an option on the table for a further 8 ships, fully funded, fully designed, fully planned. Now that, in one fell swoop, is 1,000 times more than what the previous incompetence of the last Labor government promised. We have had to confront a program that, as I have said, is $300 million and about 2 years late in terms of cost and schedule. Now, if the senator wants me to make the sort of promises that is the hallmark of his government, I will say all will be rosy. We will not put up with low productivity in shipbuilding, but we want an industry and we'll have one.
Order. Time has expired. Senator Boyce.